The first contact happened near the edge of the Velthary Dominion. Ambassador Xerax stood on the bridge of his massive flagship and watched a small human vessel drift into sensor range. His 4 eyes blinked slowly as he studied the primitive craft. It was barely larger than a shuttle. Its hull showed signs of repeated repairs. The engine signature was weak and unstable. "Is this a joke?" asked Commander Threk, standing beside him. His mandibles clicked with amusement. "The humans sent this?" Xerax made a sound that passed for laughter among his species. The other officers on the bridge joined in. For 300 cycles, the Velthary Dominion had ruled this sector of space. They had conquered 12 species. Their warships were legendary. And now, these newcomers called humans had sent a single battered scout to meet them. "Open communications," Xerax ordered. The screen flickered to life. A human female appeared. She wore a simple gray uniform with a symbol Xerax did not recognize. Her face was calm. Her eyes showed no fear. "I am Ambassador Xerax of the Velthary Dominion," he announced proudly. "You have entered our territory." The human nodded. "I am Captain Sarah Chun of the Terran Empire. We come seeking peaceful contact." More laughter filled the bridge. Threk stepped forward, his massive form blocking part of the screen. "Peaceful contact? With that ship? Do your people not understand war? Do you not have proper vessels?" Captain Chun's expression did not change. "This is a scout vessel, Commander. It is not meant for war." "Then where is your fleet?" Xerax asked, genuinely curious. "Where are your warships, your carriers, your destroyers?" "They are not here," Chun replied simply. "We hoped they would not be needed." Xerax studied the human carefully. Her species was small and soft. They had no natural weapons. No claws, no armor, no venom. According to his intelligence reports, humans came from a small world in a distant arm of the galaxy. They had only achieved faster than light travel recently. They were nothing. "Your ship will be escorted to our homeworld," Xerax declared. "There, your people will learn the truth about power in this galaxy. The Velthary Dominion does not negotiate with equals. We collect tribute from subjects." Captain Chun remained silent for a long moment. Then she spoke slowly, choosing her words with care. "Ambassador, I must ask you to reconsider. The Terran Empire wishes for friendship. But if you attempt to take this vessel by force, there will be consequences." The bridge erupted in fresh laughter. Even the maintenance crews joined in. Threk wiped a tear from one of his eyes. "Consequences from you? Your ship has no weapons. Your hull would crack if we sneezed on it. I am giving you fair warning," Chun said. Her voice remained steady. "This is required by our laws." "You have been warned." Xerax waved his hand dismissively. "Enough games. Tractor beams on. Pull them in." The Velthary flagship extended its energy beams. The small human vessel was caught instantly. It had no shields worth mentioning. It could not escape. Xerax watched with satisfaction as the tiny craft was dragged toward his ship. Then Captain Chen smiled. It was a small smile, brief and cold. And something about it made Xerax feel strange. He had conquered worlds. He had watched species beg for mercy. But something about that smile bothered him. "What is amusing?" he demanded. "You have committed an act of aggression against a Terran vessel," Chum replied. "Under Imperial law, this triggers Article 7 of our contact protocols." "And what is Article 7? "Fleet response." The words meant nothing to Xerax. He turned to his tactical officer. "Are there any other human ships in the sector?" The officer checked his console. His face went pale. "Ambassador, I am detecting energy signatures. How many ships?" The officer did not answer. His hands were shaking. "How many?" Xerax roared. "I cannot count them, Ambassador. The sensors are overloaded." The view screen flickered. The image of Captain Chun was replaced by a view of space, and Xerax felt his heart stop. They came out of nowhere. One moment, there was only empty void. The next moment, the darkness was filled with ships. Massive ships. Ships that made his flagship look like a toy. They appeared in waves. First dozens, then hundreds, then thousands. They kept coming, more and more. The sky became metal. Each vessel was a cathedral of war. Their hulls were thick and scarred from countless battles. Their weapons arrays glowed with contained fury. Their engines burned like angry suns. They moved in perfect formation. Not a single ship was out of place. At the center of the formation, a vessel appeared that made Xyrax forget how to breathe. It was not a ship. It was a mobile fortress. It was a flying city. Its length was measured in kilometers. Its mass was measured in megatons. Weapon batteries lined its surface like scales on a dragon. What? What is that? Threk whispered. That is the Emperor's wrath. Captain Chun's voice came through the speakers. The flagship of the Terran Imperial Navy. But you should be more concerned about what is behind it. More ships emerged from FDL. These were different. They were carriers. And from their bays, fighters and bombers poured like angry insects. Thousands of smaller craft filled the space between the capital ships. They swarmed and circled and waited for orders. Xyrax's tactical officer finally found his voice. Ambassador, I am counting 47,000 vessels. That is just what we can see. There are more arriving every second. Impossible, Xyrax breathed. No species has such numbers. It is impossible. A new face appeared on the view screen. A human male with gray hair and cold eyes. He wore a uniform covered in medals and symbols. His presence commanded attention, even through a screen. I am Grand Admiral Marcus Stone of the Terran Imperial Navy, he said. His voice was calm like a coming storm. You have attacked one of our vessels. You have threatened one of our citizens. You have insulted the Empire. Xyrax tried to speak. No words came. The Terran Empire has watched your dominion for some time, Stone continued. We have seen how you treat other species. We know about the slave camps. We know about the genocide on Velthus Minor. We know about the experiments. Stone's eyes narrowed. We hoped you would choose peace. Captain Chun was our offer of friendship. A single ship. A sign of good faith. We wanted to believe you could be civilized. The Grand Admiral leaned forward. We were wrong. Wait, Xyrax finally managed. We can negotiate. We can discuss terms. We did not understand. You understood perfectly. Stone cut him off. You saw a small ship, and you saw weakness. You saw a different species, and you saw prey. That is who you are. That is who your dominion has always been. We can change. We can... Too late. Stone's voice was ice. For 300 cycles, you have bullied and conquered and destroyed. You believed you were the strongest. You believed no one could stop you. You were wrong. The weapon systems of the Imperial fleet powered up. 47,000 ships prepared to fire. The Velthari flagship sensors screamed warnings. Energy levels beyond anything in their records. Targeting systems locked on every Velthari vessel. Humanity learned war long before we reached the stars, Stone said. We learned it in the mud and blood of 1,000 battlefields on our homeworld. We perfected it across centuries of conflict. When we finally reached space, we brought that knowledge with us. He paused. You see, Ambassador, we humans believe in a simple truth. The strong do not oppress the weak. The strong protect them. And those who harm the innocent must face justice. Xyrax fell to his knees. Mercy, please. Show mercy. For a long moment, Admiral Stone was silent. Then he spoke. Mercy is reserved for those who show it to others. Tell me, Ambassador, when the children of Velthos Minor begged for their lives, what did your soldiers do? Xyrax could not answer. He knew what they had done. Everyone knew. Exactly. Stone turned to someone off-screen. All ships, you have weapons free. Target all military installations, all weapon platforms, all warships. Leave no military asset intact. The first shots were fired before Xyrax could scream. The battle lasted 3 hours. But it was not a battle. Battles have two sides capable of fighting. This was an execution. The Velthari fleet was advanced by regional standards. It was nothing compared to Imperial technology. Their weapons could not pierce Imperial shields. Their shields could not stop Imperial guns. One by one, Velthari warships died. They exploded in brilliant flowers of fire. Debris scattered across space. Escape pods launched by the thousands. The humans did not fire on the pods. They captured them instead. By the end, only the Velthari flagship remained. Battered and broken, it drifted through a field of wreckage that had once been the mightiest fleet in the sector. Admiral Stone appeared on screen once more. Ambassador Xerax, your fleet is destroyed. Your military is finished. But your people will live. We are not murderers. Xerax looked up with hollow eyes. What happens now? Now, the Velthari Dominion ends. Your slave species will be freed. Your war criminals will face trial. Your planets will be occupied until a proper government can be established. And me? You will testify about the crimes of your dominion. You will help us find the missing populations. You will spend the rest of your life making amends. Stone's expression softened slightly. That is more mercy than you deserve. Take it. The occupation forces arrived within hours. Human soldiers, efficient and disciplined, secured Velthari installations across the sector. They freed the slaves. They documented the crimes. They began the long work of healing old wounds. Captain Sarah Chen was retrieved from the flagship's holding cells. She had not been harmed. The Velthari had been too confused to process her before the fleet arrived. She stood on the deck of the Emperor's Wrath, looking out at the stars. Admiral Stone approached and stood beside her. "You took a great risk," he said. "Going in alone like that." Chen shrugged. "It was necessary. We needed to give them a chance to choose peace. They chose wrong. They always do." Chen's voice was sad. Every species that builds an empire on suffering makes the same choice. They see kindness as weakness. They see peace as submission. They cannot imagine strength that chooses not to crush. Stone nodded slowly. "And that is why they fall. Every time." Chen turned to face him. "Do you think it will ever change? Will we ever find a species that chooses differently? Maybe someday." Stone looked out at the stars. "But until then, the Imperial fleet will be ready. Whenever the innocent need protecting, whenever the weak need defending, whenever predators need reminding that humanity is watching." He smiled grimly. "Let them laugh at our ships. Let them mock our scouts and ambassadors. Let them believe we are soft because we offer peace first. And when they attack anyway, when they prove they cannot be reasoned with, let them learn the truth." "And what truth is that?" Stone's eyes hardened. "That the same species that sends one ship seeking friendship can send 50,000 ships seeking justice. That mercy and strength are not opposites. That the Terran Empire does not fear the darkness between stars." He turned to address the bridge crew. "Set course for the next system. There are more slaves to free, more tyrants to face, more work to do." The Emperor's Wrath turned toward the void. Behind it, the rest of the Imperial fleet followed in perfect formation. The stars waited, cold and endless. And somewhere in the distance, other species looked up at the sky and wondered if the rumors were true. They would learn soon enough. Humanity was coming, and they brought thunder.